And we are back with another Black with No Cream morning roast episode. Again with David Malave. How you doing?
I'm good.
You're always doing good, man. That's what I like about you. That's what I really like about you.
Always trying to be happy, man.
Yeah, always try to be happy.
It's funny.
What's new in your life?
Nothing, man.
Tight.
Kind of hungry.
Yeah.
Just need to eat.
Dave stayed at my house last night because the house he's staying at was pretty full of people for Coachella. So
yeah, that's another thing. Everyone's going to Coachella this weekend, and we're not. We're taking a Coachella break.
I'm going actually.
Oh yeah, you're going. But we as in me.
Yeah, Dave's not going. But Dave needed a couch to sleep on, so he stayed at my house, and then I also neglected to get groceries, so we haven't eaten. So my bad, bro. It's a good way to start off the podcast.
It's my bad.
What?
It's definitely my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm a bad host.
Yeah, but I needed to wake up like 30 minutes earlier, and then I could have drove home and made myself.
Yeah, but that's stupid shit. All right, so morning roast episode. If you don't know, now you know. Morning roast, we deep dive into topics that we see talked about within the Black with No Cream community, or just general shit. Hopefully, to motivate or crack some new inspiration or ideas or thought processes for different things creative. We saw a comment. Trayshawn, he posted this and he said, "I don't speak much on it with the Black with No Cream family, but how do y'all deal with depression?" And I thought this is it's a topic that everyone should always talk about. I think depression is something that everyone deals with and has some sort of form, big or small. So it's important to just open up the platform to speak on it. And I think what was cool is that I saw it like right away and I was like, oh, this is a good idea for a topic. And we were talking about doing more in roast, but then we just went back to look at the comments. There was like so many people that were responding to him about different ways to deal with it, which was cool. And for me, like I've lost lots of people to suicide and, I've felt creative depression several times. Obviously, like I think that's inevitable, even for people that aren't even in the creative field. You're a manager, you're a boss, you're the whatever it may be. You deal with a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of weight on your shoulders. So there's all different forms of it. But do you have the thing that that Darren Miller posted? Do you have that on your phone?
Yeah,
you should pull that up. One thing I was going to suggest too, before we get into kind of talking about our experiences or ways to deal with it, because we want to just suggest or kind of poke at scenarios that may, I don't know, irritate this type of shit and how to kind of deal with it or how we've dealt with it or whatever, and ways to kind of navigate through depression. But I had Johnny Boucher on the podcast, and he runs a nonprofit called Hope for the Day, which was really cool because it's like a suicide prevention. And their focus is like they're super music heavy, like it's all music. And like he would go on tour with like Warped Tour and literally get on stage before massive artists and speak to like these crowds and just like talk to them about it being okay. And I thought that his platform offers a lot of really, really good insight. That podcast offers a lot of really good insight. So definitely check that out if you're interested in hearing more about it. But there's lots of tools out there for people that are dealing with shit like this. So yeah, that podcast episode, I don't remember which episode it was, but you should just dig through. Hope for the Day, Black with No Cream. You'll hear it. Obama posted his shit. Now he's verified on Twitter or Instagram maybe. Yeah.
That's dope.
And I asked him, I was like, yo, how do I get the verified plug, bro? And he goes, Obama did it.
I'll call up Obama.
I was like, Obama did it? What the fuck?
That's dope.
But anyway, do you have the Darren Miller thing?
Yeah, the Darren Miller thing leads into my first point, so.
Go, yeah, start it, run it, read it. Andrew Sandler reposted this. Darren Miller's from Iowa, actually. He's from an hour away from where I'm from. He's a great DP director. This dude shoots a lot of dope shit as a DP. He's a beast. And we have yet to meet, which is fucked up. But anyway.
Cool. So this is the quote. It says, "Dear fellow creatives, there will be many days with no work. Don't waste your time worrying about it. Believe in yourself and trust the process. Continue to study, protect your craft. Get out and create rather than sitting around watching everyone else create, wishing it was you," which I think is dope.
Super facts.
Find your voice and surround yourself with a winning team who believes in you and your vision. So I thought this was really cool. That's my favorite part. Get out and create rather than sitting around watching everyone else create. Because my experience with, quote unquote depression or moments of down or self-doubt or self-criticism like criticizing is because I feel like with social media and Instagram and what we do is so like, you know, it's so based on like reaction and so based on like likes and views and all this stuff that, you know, Instagram makes us feel, not just Instagram, but just what we do makes us feel like as if we're not posting, we don't have something new to show people, if we don't have new work to show people, if we don't have the new video to show, we feel like we aren't succeeding or we're irrelevant for a lot of moments because we don't have anything to like compete with what we're seeing, and we're seeing, oh, this person just did this person just did this, or like, why haven't I done that?
Right.
And I feel like those are the moments when I've experienced feeling down or feeling like depressed, and I feel like it's a product of, you know, what we do is so reaction based, like I said earlier. So like, you know, you could spend 2 weeks on a video, 2 weeks on a project, and then it comes out, and you know, it could even do really well, and you're hyped. It's such a high because you feel like, oh, like I'm, you know, if for those whole month, people are asking you like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm editing this, or I just shot this. Like, I'm really hyped about it. I'm working on all this different stuff, and then it comes out, you know, maybe it goes crazy, and then a week later, you're just back to square one. You're like, damn, you know, I have no jobs coming up, or I'm not working on anything. And you slip into these things. Or even worse, you know, when you're starting out and like you spend so much of your effort and time into something, and then you put it out and you might get 100 views, or you like 50 likes or 100 likes.
Yeah.
And you naturally just slip into this feeling where it's like, damn, like no one cares, or like you are so invested in it, but then you want other people to see it. And I feel like where I've tried to learn how to deal with that is the idea of like, if you can flip your motivation and your reasoning for doing things, like you have to detach yourself from results. Like, and I feel like if you can do that, like it's impossible to say, oh, like I don't care who sees it. But the truth is, like, if you really find solace and fulfillment in doing it for yourself, then when you put it out, like that, the fact of creating it is enough,
and it takes a weight off your shoulders.
And even that's what we put on on our Instagram from the Morley episode. Is like you have to find fulfillment in what you have learned about yourself and the feeling that you've given yourself, the accomplishment that you have from creating versus the reaction. And I feel like, yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that, I guess.
No, that's great, because it's like, I don't know. It's just, we're in this weird reality, and we just had Jordan Wazzy on the podcast last night, and we were talking about this too. We talked about on camera and off camera, but like dealing with becoming numb. Sometimes you're numb to it. So like, say you're just so used to having racks on views, you become like so used to that. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean anything anymore. But you can go back to like when I had fucking 500 followers, and I would get like 25 likes on something. I'd be like, oh, cool, I did 25. You know, like. Right. Or you're like, fuck, I can't wait till I get 1,000 or something like that. And it's just it's so dumb, because these numbers don't mean anything. But at the same time, it's like, yo, the whole goal is just to create a body of work that you're proud of, and then hope that people see it. And I know that can always lead to, like what you said, that, you know, that can create some sort of form of depression, because you're just kind of like bummed all the time. But I think also, like, in the reality of like making work that's being seen or not seen, there's also, to piggyback off that, there's also having to deal with, in the creative field, like creating projects that go unseen because they get canned, and that shit is the fucking worst. And that's the same thing to me as having a video flop and not get views or whatever. Like, it's the same shit. But I don't know how many times, like, I've had a project, several projects, you know, you work on it for fucking months. And my Chris Brown documentary, we thought was never going to come out. Like, there was back and forth. Oh, is it going to come out? No, it's not going to come out. Is it going to come out? And like, there's so many times where you're like, damn, I've put so many months into that project, and it will never come out. Or had an EA job that, like, some of it didn't come out just because there was controversy with whoever we were working with and someone else, like client wise or the talent wise. And so to spend so much time and then be told like, oh, we're not gonna put that out anymore, that shit's like hard to deal with. You can't wait. And you said it too when we were off camera, but it was like you talk about, like, you're almost like bragging to your friends and like, yo man, this is gonna happen, like, yeah. I just made this video for this person, it's sick. And then all of a sudden it just like, where is it? Or they forget about it. You never get to flex truly or whatever, like, and you feel like a fucking loser or some shit because you sit here and talk all this shit. Like my EA song that I was supposed to have on EA's channel when I made music, and we thought this was our big break, and we're sitting there like, man, We went out to the bar the night before we thought this shit was coming out on ESPN. We're at the bar fucking buying drinks for people. Fucking, we just made it, bro. We made it. Our song's on ESPN tomorrow. Everyone's like, oh, the whole place was going lit for it. And like, then it never came out. Switched the song with something else. And it was like the biggest heartbreak. So I think someone made a point. It's like, you have to just learn to not let that kind of like get in the way, or just to understand that it's temporary. You know what I mean? That's super key.
I think one thing that, like, going back to what I was saying, just 'cause I want to touch on it. The reason why I love that, like, so much of this is like, everyone that's creative like wishes they were doing what someone else was doing, you know. And you're always just like watching. Everyone's always like, we literally wake up and we're addicted to looking at Instagram. Like, oh, this person did this person did this, and that's where all this, like, I feel like a lot of source of like the creative part of the depression comes in, because you have to force yourself to like stop watching and literally sitting around and watching what other people are doing, and get out and go do something. And like, it's easy to slip in depression, because especially with the show part of it, like if you're trying to make it as a show, music, whatever, like you're only like, it's, I know other people deal with this. I've dealt with it. Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean by the show part of it?
I'll get to it.
Okay,
so it's
gotcha.
like when you're, let's say you're not touring with someone, you're just shooting shows. In your city,
shooting shows.
Like,
Gotcha.
you're only happy when you have the next show to shoot, because that's when you have shit to post and you have a new video to edit. But then in the next, when you're trying to find the next gig, then you feel inadequate. You feel like irrelevant. Cause it's like, because other people are posting what they're doing and you don't have anything. So you're just like, fuck, I don't know what to do. And it's like, those are the moments you have to like get up and stop wishing that you were someone else doing something, and go out and create some shit. And that's what we mean by keep creating, which is literally go out and make something that makes you feel fulfilled. You know, because a lot of this is highs and lows. And I feel like
inconsistency
is inconsistency, but you have to be okay with it. Like, you have to be okay with doing nothing sometimes. You have to be okay with not having work.
Totally.
And find happiness in those moments too, because everything is like, and we'll get to it later, like staying even keel, like not getting too high about something, too low about something, because not everything's for certain, and this is a very like up and down business, you know.
Yeah, totally agree. There was also like the aspect of there was Kai had a fucking really good example, and I can't remember I'm pretty sure it was in the podcast. Go listen to Kai Art. I can't remember what episode that is either, but Kai, Black One No Cream, listen to him. He's an insanely talented street artist. And when we were talking about it, he was talking about his big break. And one of his big breaks were when Lil Wayne reached out and wanted to buy some art from him. And so Wayne came to his studio, looked at all the art, told him like the whole story is insane, but he's just basically was like, yo, you're a legend and I want to purchase this shit. And they somehow cracked a deal where he's going to buy the whole thing for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then to take it to another step, like higher, Wayne was like, yo, I want to elevate you even more, and I want to commission the work to be used at every show I play on my next tour that I'm doing, which is sponsored by Mountain Dew. So now Mountain Dew is going to be purchasing the art, licensing the art from every show. And what Kai was going to do is create this like entryway for people to walk through. At every single person that would go to Wayne's show would have to go through this experience of seeing all this art on their way into the show. And hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then something happened to Wayne. I can't remember what happened. Did he go to jail or some shit? I don't know. But his tour got canceled and he couldn't go on tour anymore. And like the whole deal was off. But he was literally like that close. And I've been there where I've had jobs like sitting on the table and you're like, oh my God, I'm about to make this much money. And it disappears.
Or I'm about to blow up.
I'm about to blow up. Yeah. Like I'm about to be famous with my song's going to be on ESPN. Or like there was a company that I was working with and they wanted to hire me for 3 different positions. And the potential rate was like dumb, like $150K around that per job with like a low amount of hours of work. Like I was like, wait, what? So I'm almost close to $500,000 a year off of some easy shit that I can do in my sleep. I promise you, I was sitting in my studio apartment that I could barely afford for $1,200 a month in LA, and I was looking at 𝐅𝐀s, BMW 𝐅𝐀s, because I was like, yo, that's only $1,200 a month to lease this shit?
That's funny.
If I have almost $500,000, I can lease this easy. Guess what? That job never happened. That position, the person that was looping me, like got moved around and they didn't have access to money anymore. And that job disappeared. I thought I was fucking sad. I thought all my dreams and aspirations were going to be able to come true because I'd have the fix, which is budget, and disappeared. And you know what? That shit was a bummer. But at the same time, I didn't have it to begin with. And you have to, that's like a super important key factor is that we have to think like you cannot, it's not real till it's real. So don't get overly excited. That's a huge key in almost everything. And that goes for, you know what I mean? You can't, dream that big right away. You can have visions and you can make goals. But if someone says like, oh, I'm going to give you this, it is not real until the fucking check is in the bank. We didn't know tour, like, we didn't know if we were going on tour until like the plane ticket was booked.
Like, I mean, imagine that feeling. But you can't, and especially in this, like, there's so many things where it's like, yo, we're kind of interested in you for this. Like, you could possibly do this. And you're like, oh, shit, like, I could be working for this. Or this might happen. And you start getting all hyped up. And I feel like the source of feeling down is when you're getting too ahead of yourself in your expectations, or you're getting too ahead of yourself in, like, your excitement or your feeling of, like, of accomplishment before something's actually happened.
Yeah.
Before, like, you've even gone through the entire process.
Right.
Like, and so, like you said, like, until you get that confirmation, until the flight is sent. Like, when we're talking about tour, like, imagine if the tour, like, they're like, yeah, we want to bring you both. Actually,
For Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Beyonce, Jay-Z. Okay, so I'm so excited. My whole life changed. I'm telling all my friends, telling my family, blah, blah.
I'm going on tour, the biggest tour in the world, world tour. I'm going to different countries I've never been to. I'm going to fucking see all the things in the world, shoot the biggest artists in the world. Gone.
And then, like, actually, day before, you know what? Budget got moved around. We had to bring another DP. You can't, like, we can't bring
We don't need you guys anymore. And you're just like, fuck.
And then
your fucking shit would be fucked
up.
That happened with Q's tour. It was like the same scenario, like, or not Q's tour, it was a TD World Tour or whatever. Moose is hitting me when I'm at South by, I've told that story before, but it's like, we're going to bring you on the World Tour. And then all of a sudden I'm back in Iowa, packing my fucking bags, getting all my shit right. Like, oh my God, I'm going to go change the world with my fucking content on tour. I'm going to shoot Kendrick. I'm going to shoot with all these, all the people. And my friend's like, yo, I got this free flight that I got from work. We killed it this year at my job. Let's go on another trip. He took me on his trip the year before to like St. Lucia. And then he's like, we're going to the Bahamas. I'm like, ooh, we're going to the Bahamas this year? Like, for free? Everything's covered? Yeah, let's go. And then I was like, yo, I can't go because I think I'm leaving on this world tour. So I need to be ready. They haven't told me the date yet, but like, if it happens while I'm on, I don't want to be fucking in the Bahamas and get this call to go on tour. I missed this free trip, fucking put off different jobs and things because I thought I was leaving. I couldn't book anything in a month in advance because I thought I was going to go in next week. So I lost money on that shit. And then all of a sudden it just never happened. And you're telling people like, I'm going on tour. So I've had the experience of it happening. We felt like, who knows if this shit could happen again. Like, but that's part of your mindset. Like, you have to be prepared to know that thing is not real until a check is in your bank, until you're on a fucking flight, until, you know what I mean? And that's until contracts in place, whatever. You just don't want to give up your hopes, really. And I think that can go across for so many different things. Like, you just don't want to give up hope. So you should always plan to get these things, but some situations just don't come true. Some people talk big.
You got to stay balanced. I think it's all about staying balanced. Like,
totally.
Even with when we were talking about earlier, like, just to tie it into the beginning, like the feeling inadequate and feeling down, feeling down about yourself in the moments of the valleys of creating,
Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, even when you're hyped about something, like, you got to stay balanced because, like, okay, right after it's done, like, the job will end.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like tours end.
Yep.
And on tour, you feel like you're on top of the world. Like, tour is not real life. And you feel like it's, and even I thought the dopest podcast was Mike Parentu.
Yeah.
Where he's like, even then he's like, yo, the biggest mistake I made was I was living like I had a salary job when I was a freelancer. Mm-hmm. And because he's on the high, he's booking big jobs thinking,
here's $100,000. Here's $100,000. Cool.
Like,
here's
cars,
a house.
houses, all this different stuff. And then he realized, like, these things end. And if you go too far, you stretch too far outside your limitations, you set yourself up for, like, big falls, And
he experienced one of the biggest ones and had the best bounce back. Like,
of course, yeah. I thought that was such a great story. I feel like that's the best example of this is, like, you got to stay, you have to, even, like, in your head, but also, like, the way that you feel emotionally is, like, you have to find what it is that, like, what do you create for,
right?
And make it about something that you fulfill, like, you feel fulfilled inside. Totally. And then make sure that you're not going too under, like, the way you feel about things that happen to you. I don't know.
And, like, so a lot of it stems from not being creative too. And, like, just we were talking about this the other day or, like, last week or whatever, or even beginning of this last weekend, I was, like, here and I was trying to come up with shit and, like, be proactive, and I, like, couldn't do it. And I was just like, yo, what is up? Why can I not fucking knock shit out right now? I have a whole day by myself. I could knock this shit out. And then I just felt like creatively unfulfilled and couldn't figure out how to get active. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going home. And I literally just turned the switch off. And it was like, no more work. Called up Mark C. Fucking, we played Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Taught me how to play
that's
that
our
shit.
last point here. Like
Took days off. Like,
yeah.
that's it. You just, a week, one day, one afternoon or one evening of me just playing Call of Duty, eating a fucking 15-inch sub and chilling.
Yeah.
Netflix, whatever, just to get my mind away from it. Like, changed my whole next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's so key. Like if you're feeling like down, you're not living up to what you want to be, you're not creating what you want to create, all sorts of stuff. Like a lot of times, you know, you just gotta put it down.
Do
like,
something else.
Put the camera down.
Do the opposite.
Literally go out and take 5 days off of not like don't think about shit.
Right.
Just, and be okay with not creating. Be okay with taking a break. With like we don't always. It's so easy to think that we always got to be doing something dope. Why am I not doing something dope? Why am I creating this? What am I working on next? Like why isn't this living up? But then it's also like you got to realize that
that's part of the
takes a toll
formula
on us. I think one of the craziest the reason why being a creative I feel like has the potential to always like lead to these types of problems is because there's no off. Like people go to work and work is really fucking stressful, right? But at least at 5 they get off,
right?
And like they can go home and
yeah,
don't have to worry.
De-stress.
A lot of them don't have to worry about it till the next morning, or
right?
whatever. With us, it's like it doesn't matter. Like it's 1 a.m. last night, and I'm on the couch. Like I'm like, damn, like I want to be doing this with, like I should reach out to this person. I started scheming, or like I want to be doing this, or I should actually make this,
right?
Whatever. And it's like you're never not thinking about it, so you have to give yourself those mental breaks, those times to like just fucking chill.
I agree 100%. I thought there was a lot of good points. So going back to the Facebook post, if you go to, if you're Black with No Cream member, which you should be, bwnc.com/join. If you're not, you bitch. Go to the search bar in the group and just search depression. And Trayshawn's post should probably be the first one you see, but there's like 60 some comments. There's a lot of good things that are being posted. And I just saw some general points that were being made. A lot of people were suggesting a lot of the same shit in different forums, but like James Harkness and Seth Woods, they were both talking about taking care of health, exercising, meditation, eating properly. Like it's stuff that's that obvious, like that you don't think about.
It seems exactly like feel like it seems obvious, but like literally we talked about a lot of creative depression, but the segue to this is like a lot of times, you know, the things that are contributing to the way you're feeling are literally your body, and like these things like working out and eating are physical factors for your body, like literally your brain making you feel happier, like and it's so key. Like you were talking about earlier, I thought you said a great point off camera where you're saying like working out changed a lot for you because like just getting up, drinking a cup of coffee, staying in the same clothes, getting right back on the editing inside, not seeing the sun is a big factor of your happiness, right? Not even just vitamin D, but your body feeling like it's awake, right? Like circadian rhythm and all that stuff. Being inside, the day passes, it goes nighttime. Been in the same spot. You go back to sleep. You wake up. You do it again. 6-7 days in a row. That is the recipe for feeling depressed.
I even saw someone comment like that. Like, don't be like me. Like, I sit, I edit, I don't eat well. I eat, shitty. Like that shit. And I get it. It can be easy to fall into that. But yo, if you can, it's hard to even do it sometimes. Like I'm like 4 days. That's all I need is 4 days out of the week. If I can accomplish 4 days of real working out, and then try to focus as hard as I can to eat better. It's okay to slip up and shit, but like if I'm consistently trying to get some chicken and rice and veggies and this shit, like as soon as I switch that up, dude, it's like so disappointing to get up, wake up. You just got off tour. I've never felt more fit in my life, honestly, from tour, even though we were still dealing with eating shitty and not being able to work out and stuff. But I'm lifting up cameras. I'm running around for 3 hours straight in a massive arenas or whatever the shit's called, stadiums. Then get off tour and you do that for so long, and then all of a sudden you see yourself in the mirror and you're like, damn, I'm fucking out of shape and like I'm looking terrible now. Why the fuck? I just got off tour. But really that was like a month and a half ago. For a month and a half I've been sitting on my computer all day long inside, not doing shit. And then as soon as I switch it up, I just feel elevated. I feel like I can accomplish anything because I feel like my brain just feels I don't look at myself disappointed anymore. So I don't think about that anymore.
Clarity of mind.
It's like, weird.
One of the things that I love, I mean, I'm just saying this because I'm an advocate for this, but this, like, if you have access to a sauna or a steam room, that shit changes. That's like a daily routine. But even you feel it, like, when you go in there, and you just sweat and your body has heat stress, your blood's circulating.
Yeah.
Like you feel happier and you're sweating out. Your heart's running. You get out of there, you shower, you eat, and you just feel like a champion.
And the reality of that, guys, is that, and ladies, is that that's $40 a month for me to go have access to just the sauna.
Right.
Even with the gym, all that cool, but just to go, even on days where you're like, fuck, I just need to go sweat it out, or you went out and had a drink the night before and you just fucking hate your life, like just going there and jump starting your day with that is a minimum of $40.
Yeah.
Ish.
Right now.
Like you can go get access to stuff like that.
Plus, like you can go
swim,
run there, go on the bike,
yep.
whatever. Like
all
obviously we're
shit.
talking about exercising, but I think it's funny because even on tour, remember I put you on because I'd be calling you like, yo, I gotta hit the sauna before we leave. Cause
I'd be like feeling.
We just edited till 5 a.m. and we're about to get up and go on a bus and work all day.
Yeah.
It's like that, and I can't work out. At least I'm gonna go sweat and put my body through that because that physically makes myself happier because your brain starts kicking.
No, it's clutch. So I don't know. I've always said fuck exercise and all that shit, but goddamn,
take care of your health. That's such a big factor. Like.
Eat well.
Like so many people had different suggestions, but literally just going outside, your brain is like your body's access to the sun, like will make you physically happier.
Right.
Like
100%.
If you're stuck in a dark editing bay all day and you're feeling down, another thing that I've noticed is coffee addiction, like a caffeine. Like one day I told you I felt so off all day, and I was like, bro, I'm feeling off today. Like I can't really work on anything, and I realized like. I had no caffeine that day.
Right, you're addicted as fuck. That happens to me too. I get mad headaches.
And I'm like, but it feels bad because it's like, I shouldn't need to drink this to feel normal. Like that's one thing. It's like, I honestly feel like I should take caffeine.
Week off or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Like 4 days off because I'm at a deficit because my body's expecting this caffeine boost. And the whole day I'm like, why am I so down?
Right.
It's because it's used to this, or I've been inside, or I fell asleep at 4 and woke up at 11 or something, and my body's off like its normal rhythm. Like I'm going to bed when the sun's almost up or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it just throws you all off.
Yeah.
All right, whatever it is, you just gotta shift up what your normal routine is. Shift it. Find a way to shift it, and then that shit. It does a lot. We're getting close to running out of time here.
Okay, let's run through because other people had good shit.
The other people, there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, definitely go read through the post. But like Aaron Adams said, having an inner circle, super key to be able to share your struggles and as well as your victories. Like you should find people that you can really have like a strong core. Find at least one person that you can open up to. And a lot of people use the group, which is sick as fuck. Like you might not have a person. You have the community. Like everyone's here. Like there's literally 65, 70 comments on this shit. People are willing to listen to you. Like you just need to find your outlet. You know what I mean? And just make sure that, I think it's important to always share your victories too, because you might like to talk about your problems, and I think that that's always hard to deal with, and that can turn off a lot of people from caring about your shit if you only have problems. Because that's not true. Like you are doing small victories that you just might not even realize. So you need to start paying attention to those and find ways to share those too, because those are accomplishments, especially if you deal with that shit heavy. And then Jacqueline Ross said everything is temporary. Again, I fucking 100% agree. People are suggesting therapy, things like that. Like there's so many great outlets for this shit. Definitely read through the group and check it out. But I think this is cool.
What time are we at?
30 minutes.
Okay.
That camera might have stopped. I don't know. Ooh. I'll check real quick. I think this is cool. I think we accomplished a lot. We got 1 minute left on the video.
Nice.
I know, right? That's nice.
Dope. But yeah, I just want to touch on the inner circle real quick. Like, that's so key. I feel like with this stuff, if you keep it bottled up, like literally the expression of talking it out, write it out. Like a lot of times when I'm feeling stressed or down, like I just write out everything that's bothering me, or write out everything that's stressing me. Or I caught like just talking to someone. Like you gotta try to find those people that want to see you succeed. They want to hear about all your victories and your successes, but they also want to be there and help you with the down parts. And if you could find those people that really care, like find one or two that'll be that outlet for you to like offload some of that stuff, I feel like it'll help with. Just don't bottle it up.
Totally.
Like, and that's what I'm so glad the group can be a place where someone can post like that and everyone can come in and give their 2 cents and make everyone feel better about shit. That's dope to me.
Yeah, I agree. This is good. Awesome. Glad we talked about this shit. We can do it again at some point. Patreon. If you guys want to fuck with us on Patreon, support the podcast and help us pay for this podcast space, please do so. Patreon.com/BWNC. These mugs are fucking available as well. We have lots of merch in the merch store. Shop BWNC.com. That's how we keep the lights on. So fuck with us on that shit. Comments, all that stuff, do it. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Appreciate it. Bye.